Hello guys, Adrian Jones here, CEO at Tradeology. Thanks for joining me today. This is another in my weekly forecast series, and today, the 17th of May, I'm going to be looking at the markets, Forex, a bit of crypto, gold, silver. Let's see what's going on. So let's start off by firstly just having a look and seeing what major news events are predicted for this week. And I'm using this site. One can use any site, and I've selected it to display only high impact news events. And we can see that there's not much really happening as far as that's concerned during the week. Towards Thursday, we've got the employment change out of Australia, unemployment rate, and from the Eurozone, some flash manufacturing PMI coming out of Germany. Now, there are some other events that will take place during the week, of course, that are not highlighted on here, and that could affect the performance of the markets. Some unexpected tweets or unexpected speeches, and we'll get into what has happened with some of that during the course of last week that carries on into this week. But for this week, essentially, what we're also having a look at is just some of the vaccine rollouts that seem to be going well in America, as well as through Britain and through Europe. And there's some stability there now. So they are not influencing so much the markets. Although in Britain today, there's an easing of the lockdown measures, which is good news. Some travel restrictions have been lifted. And that, of course, bodes well for the pound to a certain extent. And what we're also having a look at this week is basically the interest rates in America. Some talk of the rates perhaps increasing, and we'll only know a little bit later in the week about that. Similarly, in the Eurozone, we're finding similar measures taking place where the counterparts there are meeting to discuss the possible rise of interest rates, and that also will, of course, affect the euro. That's towards the latter part of the week. Now, for the most part, it seems pretty much expected to be a quiet week ahead. For the Australian unemployment data figures, much has been factored in already, as well as for the euro. But as I always say, just before or after the release of these news events, it's best to stay out of the markets, not to enter any new trades at least half an hour before or after the timing of these events. So let's then have a look at the charts. And I'm going to start off with the pound USD. I'm on the daily chart here. And we can see how prices played out over the course of the last week. There's been a resurgence for the pound. And currently I'm using this system. It's one of the many Tradeology systems. Of course, you might be using your own. And what this is telling me is that we are going bullish at the moment. And we can see that there are some support levels that are of particular interest here. And one of them is at the £1.40 level. And we can see price bounced off that just recently. And it's heading up again. It'll likely find a little bit of resistance here at the 141 level before rising. I'm fully expecting it will continue to rise towards the yearly high at 1.42, where it will find some major resistance there. So during the course of this week, I am expecting it to play out over the next few days in a bullish direction, and will be expecting on the lower time frames to be on the lookout, particularly for bullish trades on this particular pair. Now, we can see on the euro, I had this flag formation set up previously, and price had been ranging for a while, and it's hitting resistance here at the 1.21 level. I do expect, though, that it will continue upwards. What we're finding is the US bond yields have declined, and as a result, the US dollar is in a stage where it's somewhat neutral. It's not gaining much strength, which bodes well for the euro. And with that, I do see it going up towards this level here. And that'll be at the 1.22 level, thereabouts, where it will find resistance again and could then continue onwards towards the 1.225 level, where it'll find resistance again. So I'm overall bullish until around Thursday on the euro. Now, on Thursday, we'll know more about the interest rates, discussions that are being held, and that will affect, perhaps negatively, the euro at that stage. But for the next 2-3 days, I'm looking bullish on the euro and would expect also on the lower time frames that we would see more buy trades than sell trades. I can see also, of course, that my indicators here overall are indicating bullish still at this stage. And so, as I said, the outlook there is bullish. For the Australian dollar, I'm also on a daily chart here, the Aussie dollar, US dollar. Price had been ranging for quite a while now already, as you might know, and it's heading upwards currently towards this level here at 0.78, and I do expect that it will continue upwards towards that level over the next days. And we saw earlier that there's some economic news coming out of Australia, the unemployment rates, etc. Previously, they were a lot lower, or employment increases were a lot lower than expected. And we're going to see whether or not that plays out this time around too. But that could obviously influence the progression of the Australian dollar at that stage. But for now, as with the other currencies, we are looking at an increase in the value of the Australian dollar. I don't foresee it going as high as this yearly high here, but I do find or expect that it will find resistance there before dropping towards the latter part of the week. Overall, the indicators are just bearish, just bullish, sorry. And for the moment, I don't see any major snap in price there. Now for gold being very much sentiment driven, I do see that it will continue upwards for the next while, especially as the dollar weakens. And currently, it's just above this level here at $1,845. And I do see that that will increase and go up towards this resistance level here at $1,876, more or less. So we're going to see an increase in gold, I predict, over the next few days, and then it will find some resistance there. Now we do see that all the indicators here are indicating fairly strong movement upwards. We can see it's in an upward trend for quite a while now already, the last few weeks, and I do expect it to continue upwards until it reaches that level there, at least for the next 2-3 days. With silver, pretty much the same situation. It's been trending upwards over the last few weeks, and it's nearing a point here at $27.90, where if it hits through there, it'll likely continue upwards towards $28 and around $28.30. So I do see that currently we can see that it is on the rise. All the indicators are bullish, and it likely will break through that resistance point there and head towards this more major resistance point up here. So I'm bullish for the next few days on silver, and we'll see how things work out once again towards Thursday, where we could see a slight retracement in that. Now, of course, there's a lot also happening with the crypto markets, and if you've been following along over the weekend, of course, as opposed to Forex markets, cryptos are tradable on the weekends. And one of the big news events that came out last week, an unexpected one in a sense, was Elon Musk's appearance on SNL, where he announced that Tesla will not be investing anymore, or at least accepting payments of their vehicles in Bitcoin at this stage. The main reason for that, he said, was because of the large energy consumption that Bitcoin transactions require, and that he thought that that was bad for the environment. So, of course, that had a negative impact on Bitcoin and most of the other traditional, at this stage, crypto assets like Ethereum, Ripple, etc., took a bit of a hiding because of that also. And we saw it drop. Bitcoin dropped specifically down. Currently, as at Monday morning, it's at $45,000, just over. And what I do foresee here is that it's going to see a major support point at $42,000. I'm still going to be bearish this week on Bitcoin while the market digests the information. There's still a lot of institutional interest in cryptocurrencies, and I don't see that that will taper off at any time soon. We're going to go through a bit of consolidation, and I think it's going to be ranging between $42,000 and $46,000, near where it is at the moment for the next few days. And of course, the other currencies will follow suit. We saw that it lost 28% of its value in just a few days over the last few days, but it seems to have stabilized. And as I said, as the market digests the news, we do foresee that it will stay more or less range bound during the course of this week. There's been a lot of other classes of cryptocurrencies that have performed particularly well, those that have not made use of as much energy, so to speak. And of course, Dogecoin is also in the highlights, again, because of Elon Musk saying that he's working with the Dogecoin team to see whether they can better the performance and costs of Dogecoin going forward. So that sparked a lot of interest in Dogecoin. However, we'll see how things play out during the course of this week. I'm pretty much expecting it's going to be range bound, going to place a hold on Bitcoin, and we'll see how it goes from there. So that's my basic wrap for the week. Short wrap. Hope it helps, guys. Please do have a look at the link below. There's something of interest there for anyone who is interested in cryptocurrencies but is not sure how to invest or take part in them. There's an alternative way that I'm going to describe in the link below, just for interest. Please do check that out, and I'll speak to you again during the week. Thank you very much. Goodbye for now.